Alright, what is going on, guys? So in today's video, we're going to be going over every single trade that I made this past week. It was a short week because Monday was Labor Day, so we had Tuesday through Friday, and I'm actually cutting the trading day a little bit short today. It's my mother's birthday, so I'm going to be going and spending some time with her. So let's get into it. To summarize real quick, I made 12 trades this week. I was very selective. I didn't want to push anything, just didn't know like exactly where the market wanted to do. There was 11 wins and 1 loss. So let's get into it. So first thing Tuesday morning, this company had a drug that was coming out. So Monday or Tuesday was the 8th. They had a drug that was coming out. Phexi, it's a birth control gel. Launched on Tuesday officially. Now, also on Tuesday, the market was very bad. So I don't think that helped it. But basically, this was a swing trade that I've been in for like the last month or so. My entry was in the low threes. So when this launched and you got that press release on it, it went up a little bit here. Didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do. So what happened is, I held it through the open just to see what would happen. Ultimately, didn't technically take a loss on it. Basically, I lost profits on this trade. So this was a swing trade with a catalyst. Also on Tuesday, I traded some Spartan Energy. This is a Fisker automotive merger company. One I've been swinging since the low $12. Actually under 12. I just kept averaging up on it. I have some like a long-term portfolio, and then I'll also, just trade it on the spikes. So basically, I sold this big old spike here. As you can see, it hit like 1350 that day, but it also hit 1560. So I sold somewhere in this spike. I honestly don't exactly remember where, but I know that I had over $1.50 per share on that. So I really liked it and took that profit. What else did I trade on Tuesday? I actually took some Tesla put options. I just saw that the market was weak, and basically I entered like right around here. I was in the profit, on this big old drop, but of course I wanted it to drop further. That is where the greed got the best of me and ended up being a nice little recovery. And on this recovery, I got stopped out at a 3% loss. So this is the loss that I took this week. And, looking back at it, if I was a little more patient, I would have noticed this little resistance that I had here actually hit. And it would have had a very nice flush going out. And I would have been making pretty good money. So I should have added to the position at that point. But that was just something that I put quite a bit of money into it. And so that 3% was a nice little loss. And basically, I just took it because of how volatile Tesla can be. I mean, I could have taken a big loss there because it could have broke out. But as you can tell, I should have noticed this, and I didn't. And then it sold off. That is my mistake. Now, on Wednesday, back to Spartan Energy again. Wednesday was the 9th. This drop, almost every single morning the stock drops. So basically, I was watching for this. I saw this drop under 14. I think I have it written down. My ad was 1390 here. So I almost hit the bottom, which is good. Bottom was 1387. And basically, just a few hours later that afternoon, the stock was at 1530. I ended up selling that at $15.15. Secured the profit. Another $1 plus per share gain on this one. But of course, I still have some in the low 12s in my long-term portfolio that I'm just holding for the long haul. Also, LCA. This is another acquisition company with Golden Nugget Casino. So on the 9th, I've actually had this one since the under $12. I actually have some like $11.50. I have some at like $12.20. So I don't exactly know where that averages out at. So when I saw this huge spike, that is a nice breakout on the stock. So I ended up taking about like 75% of my shares off of that, just for the fact that every time this stock has popped, it ends up coming right back down. And so I just figured it would, and it happened that it did. Also at the top here, I bought some put options. So basically, I was going to make money as the stock went down. I got some $15 puts for next week, and those were 20 cents a put. Also filled some for 25 cents, and I ended up selling them all at 25. So the 20 cents to 25 was a 25% gain. But because I broke even on some of those and I didn't want to be, too risky, it ended up being about a 10% profit on this trade. And so basically, took it from about right here. As soon as it went under 18, I took the profit. If I would have held just a little bit longer and waited, till it got down here to this moving average, I would have made 50%. But I was not being greedy. I was just securing profits. And actually, what I did do is after I took some of this off and I traded the puts down, I then put all that profit and money right back into the trade around 17:30, and the next day I sold that pop at 19.20. Actually, I think I sold it like 19, so almost $2 more per share gain here. Lots of profit on this stock if you know the way it trades. I'm actually on a new position going forward here, but I have not entered one. Also on Wednesday, that's the 9th. As you can see, SPY had a very nice breakout here. So I call these lotteries. At the open here, the stock price was like $335, something like that, somewhere around there. And basically, I bought some far out call options that expired that day. So I bought the 345 calls. They were 2 cents a piece. I didn't buy just a crap ton of them just because I knew that if the stock went down, I was basically going to lose like all my money on that trade. But ended up, we got this nice little push here, and around this 340 mark was when I ended up selling, and I sold those call options for 6 cents a piece, or $4 profit per share. Per option, I mean. And so that was a 300%, right? No, wait. 200% gain on this stock here that day. That was a very nice return. So now we are going to flip into Thursday. And back to Spartan Energy because that is just my baby here lately. This big old dip. Yep, I bought 14.30 here. I think it was actually 14.33 was my ad, so I didn't hit the bottom, but I knew my entry was going to be pretty good on this dip. As we can see, pop back up. I took some off, come back down. I bought more. The next day, I sold the pop. That was this morning. Very nice pop, but as you know, just like LCA, every time it pops, it comes right back down. Now, eventually, it won't. If you actually look at the bigger picture here, we have the big spike and we have this nice cup forming, and once this finally starts to break out, this has a ton of room, and I'm just super stoked for this one. That's why I have it in my long-term portfolio, and I don't really plan on selling those long-term stocks. I'm only day trading this one with extra. Also on Thursday, so this one is going to be a little bit different of a trade. Pull it back here. So this company was trading about $24.50 per share as of Wednesday. That afternoon, I believe. No, that morning of Thursday morning, they released that this drug that they were studying for migraine relief ended up not meeting like the standards that it needed, so basically the drug failed. And so you had this huge drop because it's never good, if a company has a drug fail, all that money put into it wasted. And this was mainly a technical thing. It had a lot of big names on it as well. So it finally found this bottom here. It started trading in this nice little range, but as you can see, the RSI is super bottomed. Usually RSI is between 30 and 70, and most of the time, it sits around this 50 mark. But it is super bottom, so basically this was a bounce play. Now I was on it all morning around these ranges. Didn't really want to enter the trade just because, like, once the market opened, these can either take off or these can sink even further. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to play this small. I'm going to watch this very closely because I don't want to, be in this dwindle down, losing money even more. So what ended up happening is I waited right into here and I saw this nice little breakout point over the $4 mark. Now, this is where I was like, man, I should have added those, 370s, those 380s that I saw. But I didn't, and that's where you can't be emotional about it. So I ended up buying $4.10. Now I sold like before the market opened. That's this lighter gray to this black. That's the market opening there. And so basically, I ended up selling before the market opened at $4.35. So that was 25 cents per share. That happened within like 10-15 minutes. So it was very nice. Just profits real quick. Ended up breaking out even higher. Now, as we can see, once the market opened, this actually ended up going up to $9 midday. So obviously, I watched the chart all day. It actually traded the moving average bounces that I love to trade, but I just the drug thing not working out. I just was super hesitant about it, and basically, I could have made over 100% of profits on this trade, but I didn't, and that's where you just can't be emotional. You just got to move on. But looking back at it, I see these moving bounces. I see exactly how I could have traded this better. And that's what you got to do. You have to learn. Learn from the mistakes and learn how you can change it going forward. Also on Thursday, Nicola here. Thursday was the 10th. Basically, GM news of manufacturing broke out the stock. Basically, it just started coming down, just a nice little sell-off like it does. It trades like this a lot. Every single squeeze, it comes right back down. So I was watching it closely. I definitely thought it was overdone here on Thursday. So Thursday morning, I thought this was way oversold, that RSI got under that 30. So I wanted to play the bounce. I ended up buying some options. I got a later entry than I would have liked here on this candle. But basically, my entry didn't fill, and I ended up filling at another point. And so the entry was $6.70, which was $670 because in options you multiply it. And so $670 was the entry, which was $670 a contract. And 5 minutes later, I sold this at $7 a contract each, which was $700. So I mean, that was a quick $30 per contract that I owned there, which was also 5% on the trade. Very, very nice. Now, flipping into Friday, which is today, on the Nicola here, I decided I would like to trade it again. The reasoning being is because although this sort of spiraled out of control, it had some hit pieces released about it saying that they were fake, all this kinds of stuff, and I knew the sell-off was coming, but the sell-off was probably going to be a little over-exaggerated, and it was going to play the bounce. As you can see, I actually bought some contracts here. I bought the $40 and I think I bought some 50 and some 55 calls for October the 16th. Within 10 minutes, those were in the profit by 5 to 10%. I took the profit. Then later, I noticed that it spiraled out of control. RSI became way bottomed. I put in a nice bid here. I guess somebody market sold it to me because they definitely made a mistake on selling that low because it was worth a lot more than what they sold it for. I think the ask price was like $2.20 per option contract at that time, and I got filled at like $1.85 is what I got filled at. So yeah, I don't know if they market sold it or what. I got a little lucky with that, but I ended up filling some. I filled some more at 2, and that gave me a 45% return, within about 30 minutes, and sold all those contracts at 270 a piece. Very, very nice on that one. So 2 scalps on this today, and I sold the Spartan Acquisition Pop. I ended up adding Spartan Acquisition, which is a Spartan Energy. Discussed that a while ago. Sold this pop because it traded per usual. I actually loaded back again here at 15. I added over 15 because I really want 15 to hold. As you can tell, we sort of poked under it a little bit, but I was not concerned because I feel like, it goes up in the future. By the end of the year, this easily a doubler, in my opinion. As you can tell, that $15 day trade entry that I have is already up 30 cents per share for a very nice little scalp return. So, yeah, that's it. That is every trade that I made this week. It was 11 wins and 1 loss for 12 trades total. Very nice percent returns. Just being really conservative. I don't think the market really knows what it wants to do. I have quite a bit on my watch list, and I've seen quite a bit of setups that I really like. There's some that I don't like, and for example, right now I have Apple on my watch. I really wanted 110 flat. It didn't hit, but ultimately I'd almost like it to touch this 50 here, around 108. That would be ideal that I would actually load it. But, I've added, a few in my long-term portfolio of that one this week. So, yeah, that's going to do it. 11 wins, 1 loss. That is all the trades that I made this week. Sometimes you don't have to push it. You just have to play a little bit smarter. And, yeah, peace out, guys.